Yeah, I think if we break it down into two segments, one would be government regulation compliance, and then the other segment would be business strategies. Take I harp pretty hard on compliance regulation. What you have, let's call it 10 to 12 rules or laws, federal laws and state laws that essentially hand the business over to the larger health systems. Now, the good news is there are solutions to all of these challenges. I think we'll see those solutions deployed over the next 3 or 4 years. And I think they're going to cause a massive amount of disruption, not to patients, but to those health systems. And so that's the good news. The regulatory framework, you did a really good job talking about certificate of need, or AKA con laws. The group or school out of Virginia does a really good job reporting that data. And I'm surprised because you have a really forward thinking governor in Virginia. And it seems to me he just doesn't know what these rules are and he's never heard of them. And I bet if you talk to him tomorrow, he'd go, I didn't even know what this was. Because it seems silly for lawmakers who get up and tell voters, Ro Khanna did this yesterday, and so did Bernie Sanders and a couple of others. And they stand up and they say, our health system stinks. Everybody's paying too much for coverage. And then I've sat with Bernie before, and I go, tell me why you limited supply of physician-owned hospitals during the ACA. Like, why didn't you support that? He doesn't answer the question.
He doesn't know.
Yeah, he looks at you. I literally had this conversation with him. And then his person walks over and goes, hey, Dutch, this conversation's been great, but we're done. And I'm so disingenuous.
So I'll tell you why Glenn hasn't touched that. I don't know him personally. I'm very good friends with one of the best orthopedic surgeons in the country, Randy Payton. And he's good friends with Glenn. They live in the same neighborhood. They go to the same country club. And so I know that the governor is very interested in all these issues. But whenever this is brought up, Inova, Carillion, it's now the Medical College of Virginia in Richmond, sit at the table with the governor and his aides and say, hey, if you squeeze us hard, we're going to have to terminate 15% of our workforce because we're barely making it. Our margins are so tight. And remember that 50% of the workforce is all female, and they have nice middle-class jobs in every county in the Commonwealth, and they won't be able to find jobs. Do you think that in Virginia, you can't get reelected, but do you think that will be good for your political future? And that's how they break their arm. They just say that.
I don't think listening to a liar speak and say it over and over again makes it true. This is completely false. And these people say the same thing. They go, we have physician-owned hospitals. We have more competition. They'll just cherry pick the cases. They said the same thing about ambulatory surgery centers forever ago. And now we have 6,000 of them. So like the entrenched interests keep saying things and you look at them and you go, oh, you're lying. Like what you're trying to do is stay to your job. And I don't know why, because how do you sleep at night knowing that you've hurt a bunch of patients? You're an American. You're supposed to be a patriot. You're not supposed to be committing treason to this country and the people that live in here. Like, be an honest guy, make a living for something honest. Stop taking money out of people's pockets you don't deserve. And that's what these large health systems do.